What's up YouTube, Logan here. It is March 19th and this will be day 7. It's been one full week. Not lucid yet, though I thought it would have been really cool if last night I had a lucid dream. And actually I think I was pretty close, but we'll get to that by the end of the story. I should probably stop calling them stories. It sounds of them. It makes them sound made up. But you get the point. Anyways, do a reality check real quick as we always do. I'm really a fan of the holding your nose and breathing thing because before I started using it as a reality check, I would have this happen often in dreams. Though since I've started doing it as a reality check, I have not remembered doing it or noticed it became lucid in a dream. That's okay though, we're going to keep trying. Do not get discouraged. That's the number one thing. We're working on dream recall right now. This is like phase 1. By the end of week 2, I think we'll start moving more towards maybe techniques, some basic stuff to increase our chances of having a lucid dream now that we're remembering things more vividly. And on that note, here we go. So I'm going to read this one to you, as I didn't do last night, but this one is equally sloppily written, if that makes sense, but I'm not as tired as I was last night, and this is my first take, so let's give it a go. My first dream takes place at a flat area of skate park, like skateboarding. I was on a longboard, though, with a huge pit that you can drop into. A friend was longboarding with me, and we discussed safe ways to go about dropping in. I looked over the edge and eventually went down, I believe. So this was kind of blurry. My next dream kind of took my focus. I woke up a little late. I was rushing around. I got to get more of a routine going. That's why I'm trying to get to bed earlier here. It's 9:41 p.m. at the time of recording this, which is about normal. But I usually am not getting to bed till midnight, which sucks because I wake up at 6 a.m. Continuing on, so we're looking over into this pit, way down deep. I mean, this thing's like straight down. And long story, I'd show you my scar. I wiped down on a really big hill. I was bombing a hill, which is just going really fast on a longboard. And I went to turn after getting some speed wobbles, which is like the shake I just did. Your board starts going left and right, and you may be staying steady. You just can't control that board. Came down to a turn. It was called Ecstasy Hill. Turned left. I just went straight into the ground. So I wasn't really afraid, but I was very cautious in this dream. I would almost say that I was a little scared, maybe remembering back to that time I wiped out. And this friend here, it was actually a gay friend, not unless he was like gay for me kind of friend, just a friend that was gay, and that's how I remember him. That's why I'm describing him as that, from high school. And it was strange because I haven't talked to this person in a long time, but it was nice. He was a good friend of mine, similar to a few dreams back when I just was in a room full of people that I had that same relationship with, where time separated us, but we had only good memories. Very strange thing that has happened twice now. Might be one of those weird dream signs that might mean something, like I should reconnect with an old friend. But anyways, back to the current dream. I'm looking down at this pit, and eventually we do go down, like I said. And so I remember a kind of slow motion, probably because my subconscious knew I didn't want, speed down. And sorry, my cats are all over the place here. And so that's probably why it was slow. And I immediately jumped to the next dream. So the next dream, I was sitting in a seat in history class, so we're in a high school situation here. A student behind me that I knew from my actual high school, though it was a different high school. I went to 2 of them. It was like the first high school I went to is where I knew the kid from, but it was in the scenario, the setting was the second high school. So immediately I knew something was off. I remember thinking about it in the dream, but my spatial awareness, my actual mindset just wasn't in the right place, which is a sign of poor training. But it should not be discouraging, as we're not supposed to be Jedis yet. We're 1 week into this. But ideally in the future, when I make that connection of something seems off, I'll immediately do a reality check and question why is it off. Kind of cool thing there that you should be doing. Okay, where were we? Yes, sitting in a seat in history class. This guy behind me, so this guy behind me I knew from high school. And they're all younger in this, though they're my age in real life. I'm about to mention three people, 3 kids, and just picture like 14-year-old kids. It doesn't matter what they look like or how they act. I'll describe how they act, but looks weren't important. Just what is important I wrote down is that they were younger than me. So the kid directly behind me, the other 2 are in a row behind him, not that the rows matter too much, starts talking shit about my best friend. He's talking about my best friend cheating on his girlfriend, and his girlfriend's birthday was actually yesterday, I think, and I said happy birthday and stuff. It's probably why it was fresh on my mind. starts telling, he's whispering to his buddies, you know, oh, I heard Zach's cheating on Allie, whatever, whatever, and I'm like, what the fuck did he just say? But, you know, like, we can't have this shit spreading around. I know how Allie's gonna get when she finds out that people are talking shit. Whether it's true or not, I feel obligated to, you know, say something about this. And so, we're talking about Zach cheating on Allie, start spreading the word in the room. I get up, and, disturbed, oh, I dislocated his arm, so I come up, and I kind of do one of those things where you, like, bend it like that. You know what I mean? Bend it not so much against his arm, but like a mercy kind of thing. I don't know. I dislocated it though. It was like popped out, and I just popped it right back in. This kid is screaming in pain for a second. And so then I popped it back into place, and I sat. And so after I do this, I look him straight in the eyes, and I said, next time I leave it broken. I left him with that threat. I went back and sat down. Now, the teacher wasn't disturbed. The class didn't seem disturbed. It was very strange. Popped back into place and sat back down. Two of his friends, all younger kids, is where I made the note here. I told you ahead of time. Get up along with him to fight me. So these three kids stand up, and they're just like trying to square up in class, you know. Now, the teacher seems, you know, all the students started kind of getting up at this point, not just these three. It seemed to be some kind of transition phase, and the teacher was distracted, even though this was clearly an altercation. The three kids are raising their fists at me, and I remember, though I didn't write it down, I looked at these three kids, and I was like, you want to fight me? Let's fight. Like, I will literally knock all three of you out. I remember being over cocky in this dream, and I think they got the point. So they all come up to fight me, and prepared. So I stand up and prepare, you know, I raise my fists, I cover my face, and none of them swing at me, because I'm talking to them as I'm ready to kick their ass. I feel like it would be intimidating, though I don't think I have the balls to do that in real life. Maybe. If it was over my best friend, I would. So next, I find myself having gone to the bathroom, so I just, like, teleport out of this situation immediately to the school bathroom. And I think this is really cool, because I feel that there was some level of lucidity from me questioning the high school scenario being the wrong school for the wrong face, in that I kind of subconsciously, I wanted to fight this kid. I was like, he needs to get hit, but I knew that it was disrespectful to my teacher to do it there, and I was the kind of person that I kind of personally got along with my teachers. A lot of times I didn't do shit in school. Fun fact about Logan. Not that I don't like learning or that I learned nothing, just that I didn't go about it your conventional way. Your day-to-day normal student was not Logan. So next, I find myself having gone into the school bathroom, and all three of them are there. So I'm at, like, the entrance to the bathroom, and they're around the corner, and they're all coming out from, like, the stall area, and we meet face to face right in front of the front door. There's, like, the hand blower on the right, which is significant in a second. I'll tell you why. So, Marcus, that's the main bad guy, the one I dislocated the arm of, steps forward, and I see him going for a front kick to my face. So picture this as the guy, he's like, bam! And as I see him winding back to do that front kick, I do the same move, but it must have been with the opposite leg, or however this works out, but I'll set down my book for a dramatic example. Here's us, we both front kick, and boom, our feet just get stuck, and we're still, you know, got our feet prepped here. And then, this is also another point that made me kind of lucid, though I didn't snap into lucidity completely or take advantage of it. We did a kick with the other leg, so we have no legs on the ground now. We were locked like this. How wild is that? Now let me find my spot real quick so I can continue and get you the word for word of how I described this as I recalled it first thing. I see him going for a front kick to my face. I kick at the same time, and our feet find themselves... first hit each other, evening out. One more time now with the right foot, then I shove him back. So after we both have our feet in the air, somehow I push him with my arms, I guess. I don't know exactly. This would look super funny if it were, you know, made, like, recreated in video form. But, you know, dreams just don't make sense all the time. I say you know as if you guys know, but I'm just kind of telling you my interpretation of things, and assuming you have some background as to this making sense. Though the only thing that really is relatable probably is that most things don't make sense. Funny how that works. So I push him back with my arms, though our feet are both locked together when I push him back. Shove him, and somehow he catches on something and rips a huge hole in his side and starts dying. This is why I didn't remember the first dream, because this was like a heart pounder, like, whoa, this woke me up, because I I feel that the small amount of lucidity I had, also my morals and things that normally aren't in a dream immediately were there. Like, the reason I teleported out of the history room, it wasn't morally right for me to have been doing that there. The bathroom, talking shit about my buddy. But anyways, so, that's where I think I mentioned the hand dryer. When I woke up, I didn't write this part down, but I still have this feeling, so I think it's probably true. I think he caught his side on the hand dryer when I pushed him. It's the only logical thing that could have been there, but it was an illogical wound. So picture his side here, just like ripped back. There's blood gushing everywhere. I've been watching Grey's Anatomy, and it was really gory. It was like Grey's Anatomy gory surgery time. So I immediately had conflicting emotions about this. I screamed, "Someone, you two call 911," to his two buddies standing behind him. I said, "Call 911." And the reason I didn't immediately help this kid, I remember just a flash, just a flick of, I need to save this kid's life. He's dying in front of me. It's not my intention. We were here to scuttle over my buddy's drama, not end a life. That's not who I am. So the reason I didn't help him is because I clearly knew that if I were one of the other two kids, I would not be letting me leave that situation alive. It's just not something that happens. You threaten my friend's life, now I'm threatening your life. It's like a trade, eye for eye. I kind of respect that. And so, respecting that, I gave them instruction to help their friend, and then I ran. I went downstairs, and I found a teacher. I think it may have even been my history teacher, acting as like a hall guard or hall person or whatever. I tell him what happened. I don't recall actually telling him, though. We just kind of like fast forward in that part, which is nice. I'm glad my dreams do that. It's like they skip redundancies, so you don't remember things twice. It's interesting. Like as if you could be reading a book, but since you only have dreams for a certain amount of time, you get to skip 6 chapters and just get the synopsis of what happened in 3 seconds. Weird. I'm not reading the page. There's only half a page left. I'm telling you what happened because it was so vivid. So I got downstairs and I tell this history teacher, "Holy shit, I just killed a guy upstairs. You gotta get help now," you know what I mean? Like, pronto. I don't know what happened, but it happened up there. Go quick. Now, I knew then I had this overwhelming urge, this surge of feeling that I was in trouble. I did a bad thing, consequences, and the consequence I knew then would be the principal. So I worked at a school once, and the principal was the highest boss of all, as you might imagine. I attended school for all the years you can attend school, super college, and the principal was the highest guy you gotta deal with. So I had this real fear, like police fear of, principal man, it's time to deal with him, sum it all up, take a big breath. This is the judge, jury, and executioner we're about to face. And of course it was the principal that I had longest while I was working at the school, as well as he was my principal actually. Funny enough, at one point I attended the same school I worked at, with a brief period of traveling 1,700 miles away for a few years, and then coming back. Anyways, so my principal comes in now, and he was never mad. It was very strange. We kind of teleported to the front door. I don't know what happened to the kid. I don't even recall seeing like any kind of he's being helped or anything, but I was with a group of students that reminded me very much of ISS in school suspension, if you don't know. It's kind of like the kids that do bad things often, they get to know each other in ISS. It's actually kind of a really cool phenomenon almost that these people bond together and it changes their lives, in that they all get in trouble all the time, and that's how they meet and mingle. So we're being walked out the front door. I'm not in handcuffs or anything, though. I think I might have saw 1 or 2 cops. I think they were more like resource officers, which are the rent-a-cops. Sorry if you're a resource officer that attend the schools full-time. And so we're just walking down the street. We're walking away from the school now, blocks in nature. There's cars going by. I see houses around. There's actually a wall on my right side of the sidewalk. So we were like going down a sidewalk. My book is us. And then there was like a wall guiding our path. So it was a little fake of a sidewalk, but that wasn't concerning me at the time. I was really overwhelmed with emotion at this point, which is a new stage of recall kind of, because I haven't had so much emotion, though there's always a little bit, in that I did a bad thing and I'm in trouble. And there's kind of remorse and regret, but more so just that feeling of dread as it wasn't intended, but a bad thing happened and consequences are to follow. And it's just not a good feeling. You don't really want to feel that because you didn't intend to feel it, but now you're feeling it. So I'll finish my dream before I give you a side note on that. I always got these side notes. Sometimes they're really main notes. I just throw them in the middle like this side note of a side note. Wow. So we're walking down the street at the end of the dream here. There's other kids from that ISS I was telling you about. Lots of girls. I see girls all over my dreams. Now, maybe it's a 50-50 ratio, and I just recognize the girls more because I'm a guy, but I don't know. at the very last part of my dream, remember that brick wall on the right side of our sidewalk? We're on the left side of the street. If you can kind of picture, we're walking down a sidewalk with a wall to our right. She sets down an old CD player, a round CD player where like the top opens up a little bit, you slide the CD in, top closes, you set it down or whatever. She sets it down on the wall, and I just accidentally bump it. I'm not trying to touch it. I just like gaze at it, and the thing falls. It falls right off, just boop. And as it was falling, I just felt like, I could do no right. You know what I mean? I had no intentions of doing bad this day, and all the things that probably were unforeseeably bad happened. Like, how could they get worse? But as it fell, and I was overwhelmed with that feeling of dread, the most notable part of the dream is that it landed perfectly on a bush, unharmed, undisturbed, didn't bounce and break. It just fell right where it kind of needed to be. It felt very, very much like the light at the end of the tunnel, like a glimmer of hope even in the bad times. So I've been obsessing with a quote recently. I just watched Star Wars: The Last Jedi recently, and Luke Skywalker says that hope is like the sun. If you only believe in it when you can see it, you'll never survive the night. And so I think that may have been where this came from. It was my reminder that though all hope seems lost, clearly there's a lot of reasons to think that this is the end. There's a lot of negative things happening. If you give up then, you're never going to see yourself through to the good things, because everything changes. It's one of the few things I guarantee you in life, is that everything changes. Perhaps not in the lifetime that we see it, though I would almost guarantee that if I could. So yeah, that was my dream from start to finish. Most notable was that one dream about the kid in history class. I'm sorry, Marcus, if you're out there somewhere, you know who you are. Maybe I know a lot of Marcuses, but that one specifically, I think I killed you last night. Ooh. Couple side notes real quick. I've noticed I've been having dreams about killing people, for one, like the last night shooting in the courtroom. It's unlike me. And today accidentally injuring Marcus. I want to go and give you a little bit of a personal side note here. I've been reading a lot about Buddhism. Now, I have no religious views, really. I consider myself Pastafarian. I have nothing against you if you are religious. In fact, some of my best friends are religious. I think all of them are. And I really find true religious followers, people that devote themselves to it, to be some of the most fascinating and intelligent people that I've come across. And I love to pick their brains about why this, why that, what is your belief? And I don't mean to be disrespectful about it, though sometimes they take it to that level. And sometimes I'm rude. Honestly, religion is one of those things you can argue about forever. I know there's no right answer, though, and we agree to disagree, and that's why there are still some of my closest friends, though we all have very, very different views. I mean, one guy won't eat a pig, the next one won't hurt a fly, the next one is killing everything, in a hunting sense. Anyways, Buddhism seems to me, it's one of the origins of lucid dreaming, or the oldest recordings of using meditation in your sleep to kind of have an understanding of the waking world. I'm not going to dissect Buddhism right here for you. What was the reason for this? Yes, the first precinct, I think it's called, or the first kind of rule, though they're very loose rules, not like the Ten Commandments, but ones that are moral codes that they suggest you follow. They all have in common. The first one is do not kill any living being. Do not kill, do not aid any others of killing. And I think this is really conflicting for me, though that sounds drastic right now, because I like to hunt. My family hunts, and it's something I took up just 2 years ago. I love fishing. Now that one I have some moral issues with, perhaps, since reading a lot and considering what I think is true and good. But yeah, so I think this is just a battle going on in my head, and me killing things and feeling my emotions thereafter. I think it's myself questioning, putting myself on the spot. Are you a murderer for killing these animals? And I think the conclusion I've come to, and I've read a lot about on the internet as well, I like to take other people's opinions into account that are in a similar boat, is that when I hunt, I'm not going out to kill things for fun. I'm going out because I really do enjoy kind of the sport of it, so that part of maybe is the problem. But also that we harvest animals. It's the only time where what I'm eating on my plate is something that I had to take that life, for one, which has huge significance. I took that life and I used it. I used it to feed my family. I used it for, I don't know, I sell the furs. I don't sell the furs. My grandparents sell the furs and stuff. The bones can be used in a myriad of different ways. It's just kind of makes you feel connected to nature. Death is a part of life as much as life is a part of death. And as long as I'm not the kind of person that goes stabbing in rabbit holes and cutting the head off snakes, I mean, I even save bugs when I see bugs, you know? So, yeah, that's my 2 cents on my own morals right now and why perhaps my dreams are going the way they are. I really feel like Buddhism was not where that was supposed to go, though. There was some other side note right at the end that I had. What were the last things that happened? I was walking. I think it was Buddhism. Well, guided meditation is another thing. Not guided, but mindfulness meditation. So being mindful is kind of just being able to control your mind in a way you want to. So for example, the most common exercise is meditation, which is not strain your brain, focus, and block out everything. Just, that's not meditation, actually. Or at least not mindfulness meditation. It's more letting it all flow through and just taking it in a calm manner and then deciding, giving it a task is kind of the best way to put it that I've heard. Take in all of your thoughts, your emotions, whether they're distracting or not. Just kind of observe them without feeding into them and becoming your focus, being obsessed on them. Let your focus be on your own interpretation of everything and then make a decision. That is mindfulness. Mindfulness meditation is a great way to become more mindful, which is redundancy in terminology. So let me think of another way to put it. More aware of your surroundings. And that awareness, that constant awareness of yourself, your body, your mind, and everything around you is what you're going to need in a lucid dream scenario to go from a dreamscape to, in this dreamscape, you being mindful of where your consciousness is. You not being your physical body, but your mind and thoughts, being mindful of where they are, what they're doing, and what they're observing, and then make a decision consciously, which is going to make you lucid. You're going to go, wow, something's out of place, do a reality check, or just observe something out of the ordinary and question it. One of the big parts of Buddhism, and you think of Buddhism, you think of the Chinese fat guy, Buddha. Now, it's funny is they don't actually have a god, or they don't religiously follow Buddha, though there is like one sect that worships him almost as a deity. It's more that they show appreciation to his teachings, and that's way more into Buddhism than I want to go. This is about lucid dreaming. I hope you're writing in a journal every night like I have been. This is day 7, super exciting. It is a journey. We're going through a journey here. My video editing, non-existent. My mic quality, pretty poor. Sorry if I ramble about a lot of personal things. That's what I'm hoping sets this channel apart for just the standard viewer and kind of sucks them in, is my personal life progression. But most of all, this is what I want to see. I want to be able to look back a month from now and have every single day my dreams recorded and some of my daily activities kind of spilled out like I just did. I think it'll be a great progression of self that I will see, you will see, and hopefully that'll be one of my strongest key arguments to why you need to be a lucid dreamer, why you should be. I don't like to say need. You don't need to be a lucid dreamer, but you should be. Alright, everybody. Good night. See you tomorrow.